if you can hear me. Let's just change that over there. Let me take this off. Yeah, it's probably better. So disappointed with my team, Arsenal. Hope you guys are doing well. Live and clear. Cave in the building, my brother. Hope you're doing very well. We need to talk tonight. Of course, Investor Squad in the building. Recon in the building. Loud and clear. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you're doing well. Listen, so Injective running about 20% earlier on today. Well, we do have some crazy stuff to talk about. Supreme Court ruling. Good old our friend Trump. It's obviously Trump is being on a tear. Things are interesting to say the least. I mean, let me bring out a few other things. Wait a minute before we get started. Yo, what have you in the building? What's going on, family? Hope you are doing very well. Likewise, brother. I hope you are doing fantastically well, of course. Prosperity, peace, everything along. There's a situation in Iran right now. Of course, we're seeing the markets barely react to the news. Yesterday was a crazy, crazy day. And let me just share. Let's share this. So yeah, right now we are waiting for crazy, crazy bottoming events. And we're getting an opportunity, to be honest, of a lifetime. Forget about the last cycle. Money is actually leaving crypto in a dramatic fashion. There's something that I shared with the community earlier on today, which is about some Glassnode. This was pretty dramatic stuff. And we're basically seeing the same decline as we saw back in 2022. And that means a pretty decent bear market. Now, the difference between now and back in 2022 is the fact that September, November, and December of 2022 saw massive rate hikes. Of course, inflation is slightly cooling now. But what would Kevin Walsh do? And wanted to do a show with a little bit of a twist, of course. And since crypto is quiet right now, there's never been a better time to watch or pay attention to the space. Now, of course, you've seen what's happening with the Claw bot. You see what's happening with many of the kind of the craze for AI, and that's going to impact us as well. I'm almost certain that the next time this market goes, it will basically be such a violent and incredible way. But for now, we're scraping things for the bottom. Many of the stuff that I said, I mean, I wish I would have sold 100% of the portfolio back in July, August. I've managed to sell 33% off the back of doing a video here and putting an alert out in the community. However, one thing that is happening now, if you look at this red area that we've just entered, right? So if you look at this red area here on the screen, let me just go. Afternoon, brother. How are you? Hope you are doing well, Ethan. Good to see you. So this is quite key, right? And I'm glad we're looking at this through the noise. June 2022 was the start of the kind of like official bear market. I mean, we did have February as well back in 2022. But you know what? Numbers don't lie. And right now, in this piece that I did today, you are seeing the most aggressive kind of market bottoming signal from 2022. And right now, we are just in the beginnings It's actually I mean, it's crazy. The data itself is quite crazy. That means all of the altcoins that we've looked at previously, especially the kind of like if you're buying core alts, like your TAOs, your SUIs, just have to be patient with the money. That's the biggest problem right now. People want to get back into the market. People want to just start to spend money. But I'd say just increase your USDT balance and you will be absolutely fine. Can you imagine a few months ago, there was a brother, I hope you're here. So I made a video about Toshi and I said, look, you need to buy this at around 50 million or less. I mean, talking about $20 million market cap. We're talking about Chainlink potentially at $5. And he was like, nah, man, what are you talking about? It's the bull market. It's a continuation of the business cycle. And while I agree, that some assets will continue to linger, I mean, I know from Nansen anyway, VC funds that bought SUI at a price of $3.75 to $4. Institutional money, which is pretty insane if you think about it. So there will be opportunities for us to be able to just do crazy things like that, to be honest. And I suspect anybody who's not really looking at the... Okay, let's get this trackpad going. So Trump, Supreme Court ruling striking down approximately 70% of President Trump's tariffs. In a ruling that was interesting, the ruling was like 63. And so Trump had already, by now, has already bypassed the Congress. And he's enacted these tariffs by declaring a national emergency under the International Emergency Economic Powers, known as the IEEPA. And he's citing basically foreign threats, illegal drugs, and large trade deficit. Now, the court itself ruled that no president in half a century has enacted the IEEPA and used it as a kind of statute to impose the tariffs on this magnitude. And basically, they determined that this extends beyond the presidential authority. Interesting. Now, of course, the impact on the consumers versus corporates, the tariffs acts as a tax on the American people, noting that, of course, consumers bore 90% of the cost. In addition to that, 1,800 lawsuits were filed against the government. The expected $100 billion plus tariffs in refunds will be paid directly back to large corporations like Walmart, Costco, Nike, and other institutions. And the question is, the regular consumers who paid higher prices may not see this money return. Now, the failure to fix the trade deficit is something that we all need to understand. And this is great because if you're looking at the macro now, you've got an incoming Fed, you've got an incoming Fed and you've got this situation with Trump. So despite the administration's goal to bring back American manufacturing and reduce the trade deficit, data shows that US trade deficit in 2025 was 91 billion, a decrease of less than 1% compared to 2024. So the retaliation or retaliatory measures, led to other countries shifting their supply chain away from the US. Now, of course, when you strip down the tax revenue generated from the struck down tariffs, the federal deficit under Trump actually exceeded the deficit under Biden, which is crazy, right? Contributing to a 38 trillion. Now, we're not obviously, we're not talking about politics here, but we're just simply taking a balanced view of what's going on. So, of course, they're going to use the legal loopholes the tariffs will, specific tariffs or implement alternative fees on imported products. And of course, replace the sweeping global tariffs that were struck down. And Trump has already started doing this. So this was a bullish thing for the markets, right? However, because Trump came out straight away and said that he's obviously now signed these emergency powers, it just means that this chart that I'm sharing with you now, when it comes to this whole capital movement, for anybody that was in doubt that this doesn't look like the 2022 bear market, reaching about almost 60 billion was the outflows. So this is Glassnode, by the way, where I've put together this article. And what we notice is outflows are driven mostly entirely by BTC and ETH. In terms of this orange line here, you can see BTC and ETH. It just means we are heading lower. And because we're going to head lower, I did talk about intensively $48,000. But beyond that, I think it's a great time to be in the market. I think it's a great time to be alive. But where's my co-host Mika? Let me try and get Mika up. See what Mika is saying. Listen, AI, if anyone is in doubt.
Hey, welcome back. I'm all ears.
Hey, Mika, give me an update on Sui, Tao, and Casper.
Hey, updates hot off the press. 12:06 a.m. sharp. Markets finally catching its breath after that weekend bleed. Here's the rundown. Sui, 0.962 US dollars, up 3.8% since yesterday. Volumes ticking higher, 480 mil now. That staking ETF launch is doing work. Whales are nibbling again. Support solid at 0.93. If it holds, next target $1.10. Feels like momentum's flipping. Tau, 189.2, up 5.1%. AI's back in play. Some big subnet announcement dropped earlier, and volumes at 140 mil. Whales are stacking. Resistance at 195. If it cracks, could see 200 quick. Still volatile, but this leg looks real. Caspa, 0.0318, up 4.2%. Hash rate's climbing again, and there's chatter about a testnet upgrade next week. Volume's low, 11 mil, but that's normal. If it clears 0.035, shorts get squeezed. Buy zones right here if you're hunting. All three green tonight. First time in days. You still holding or just watching? Want alerts?
So just to have a little bit of fun, this whole entire craze where AI agents are supposed to be here. I know many of you, especially in the Discord, we've been talking about AI agents being absolutely, especially Clawbot. AI agents will be able to help us, but I think the security risks and the knowledge gap right now are significantly different. So I was just using my AI assistant there just to get a gauge on what was going on in the day. But guys, we're all going to need our own self to be able to have a digital copy that does a lot of these things that we engage in as investors, and the space is changing absolutely rapidly. Now, of course, if you are in Tau, for example, you do have exposure to AI agents through the subnets. But let's talk about Tau, because there's a couple of things here. We'll start off with Tau. It looks like Bro said it's kind of competing with Tau Senti, is it? Never heard of this. New AI coin for a new cycle. It is from Polygon. Listen, Polygon are a serious outfit. This is a serious question here. I like that, bro. This because for many reasons. First of all, I get my morning briefings now from AI. I look for a spike in volumes through AI. And of course, I use Nansen as well, which is on-chain AI tool that's able to flag certain things. Now, this is obviously very, very interesting comment here. And we can have a look at the the charts for things like Bitensor Tau. Now, for me, ultimately, Tau under 160 is incredible. So major support for Tau falls to, let's have a look. Just get some. Could use many different charts, but if you look at Bitensor Tau right now, I've been buying small bits and pieces below 160, major buys at 125, major support here around 145. Of course, the real major support for me is like the 160 mark, where Tau has been going quite a lot. But it's interesting, you've mentioned obviously a Bitensor Tau, Bitensor Tau competitor here, which is very, very interesting to me. I haven't seen this particular coin, but if it is going to be a competitor, we can benchmark it and see how it stacks up. Now, one thing I will tell you off the bat, Cent, I think the ticker is Cent, right? 160 mil. Tau doesn't really have a competition, in my opinion. There were few things that we thought would compete with Tau. But this is an incredibly interesting read. Not because it competes with Tau, but I would like to know more about this project, of course, supported by Nia and a few others. It's not a Tau. And that's just from first visuals, by the way. The thing you need to remember with Tau is whenever you see a cryptocurrency that is talked about at this level and it goes into a bear market without really people understanding it, so far it's just institutions that are in Tau, right? So one thing I would say is wait for the project to develop, I would say. And secondly, I would also include the fact that Tau's ecosystem is unprecedented. If you could grab that below $100, I mean, you're setting future generations free. It's very hard to have conviction because we know outside of Bitcoin, crypto is very risky anyway. But here's what we're looking at, right? Here's what we're looking at with Tau from a technical standpoint. Again, Centi, I would definitely like to know more about it because it could be, I mean, it is a smaller market cap. But here's what we're looking at, man. Major support level where Tau has been in several times. The major level here, 100, probably I'd say 140 to about 130. But below 160, man, this is going to be pretty cool. But if you go back into a deeper bear market, I can tell you right now, some of the opportunities would be around the $100 mark on that purple line. So I don't know much about Centi and the fact that obviously it's competing with Tau, but I am interested in at 160 million. New cycle for new coins. Definitely Polygon. Listen, the thing about Polygon is that Polygon themselves, I mean, they are now pushing the poly markets, right? So opportunities are going to be great. However, I would say nothing in AI so far competes with a decentralized. I would say probably the right now, the closest thing to Tau is probably near. It's not even close. Near is like a subnet of Tau. So it's the ticker sentient. Sorry. I'd definitely take a look at this. But with this market cap, let's have a look. Fully diluted, total supply, max supply circulating. I can see from a tokenomic standpoint, interesting stuff, to say the least. In terms of the, let me check the main page for this. But yeah, that good shout. If you have any coins that you think, obviously, if you're holding Tau anyway, smash a like to the video. If you have any coins you think that can compete with Tau, please, by all means, bring in to our attention. Because what we're going to do is absolutely screen them. So I'll give you my 2 cents on this one for sure. Bro said, what do you think about the theory on how Bitcoin supply is infinite due to derivative trading, options, futures, etc., all synthetic manufactured Bitcoin? I don't listen. Over time, the supply dynamics will win out. You know, it's almost like paper silver, you know, rather than real silver. So I doubt that would be. I mean, right now, to be honest, the whole of crypto is suffering because of leverage, because of derivatives. And if you look at volume balance between the two over the years, it has completely gone from people wanting to buy asset. Without retail, that's not possible anyway. But yeah, no, I don't have concerns about that. I think liquidity will take care of that in due course. So Sentient, just going back to Sentient, it's an AI research and development company focused on building open source AI reasoning. So I can see why you'd say it's potentially going to compete with Tau. I mean, what are we seeing? Tau is what, multiple billions of dollars, and this is obviously an early opportunity. What else can we see? It wants to market itself as the home of open source reasoning, a platform where open source agents are built, tested, and improved by research teams. Systematic embedding AI agents. So it's more focused on agents. Roma, what is this? Meta agents described as the world's reasoning framework for powerful AI incentives and open source. Yeah, it's got to prove it itself, of course. AI startups of the year. So this is what it's doing. Yeah, it comes nowhere near as Tau. But what I would tell you is, give it a watch list. Of course, you got to look through the supply dynamics as well. But I can easily see Tau being, well, at the moment, 1.6 billion, more established, a project that is at a level, I would say, that is very, very mature. Could we see Tau below $1 billion for generational opportunities? Possibly. But don't give your money out, because it is going to be, interesting. Big shout out to bros, sunny Colorado. Afternoon, fam. Do we think we're going to revisit 60? My brother Peter, how are you? Hope you and the family are well. Bitcoin at $60,000. Well, to be honest with you, there is let's have a look at Bitcoin's chart, right? BTC. I wouldn't be surprised if we test that level. But here's what we're looking at. So that's an excellent question, bro. And I would say there's an idea that I had. and I'm not too shy with what I see on the chart, right? So if you guys can see this chart, it's super, super interesting. Let's flip this to the weekly. Have a look at this, right? For some strange reason, so we have the number of days of a bear market, and then we have various tops and bottoms, 2017, 2021, 2025. And what you can see here is, so 2017 high was the 2021 support. And the 2021 high so far is the 2025 support. So you can see here, if I mark the top here, you can see in this gold line, 2021, the $69,000 is where we're kind of hovering now. That's the level that we need to flip in order to be fully and utterly bullish, right? So we have closed candles, weekly candles below that level for 2021. Now, $69,000 is a psychological level. So on the weekly, all I can see is just bounces. Therefore, will 60,000 be the floor is what we want to know. So if we put, I've always said $48,000 made more of a sense, but if we look at this golden line here, let me just change why can't I change this color here? So let me change this to red. So if you look at the red line here, we've hit this level and potentially we might be able to retest after a bounce. Now I can see, honestly, Bitcoin kind of bottoming around $48,000 because that was where we started the massive rally back in 2024 for the ETFs. Some people are saying low 40s. I've heard some ridiculous arguments for 38. I don't believe in that. But if this is the bottom, then you would say, okay, let's flip 69,000 into major support, which is last cycle's high, and then onwards and upwards from there. But I just have this 48,000 level marked out psychologically, get everyone bearish, of course. If it dips below that within the 40s, then I think that's going to be a generational opportunity. So to answer your question, Peter, I don't see any reasons as to why we don't test this level again. And but for now, we are on the daily. You can see that level here, 60,000 or 59 or whatever it came down to. Yeah, just about $60,000. So potentially, you know, this would be a possibility. The other thing, if this is going to be a similar bear market to previous bear markets, you can see how many days on average we lasted from peak to trough, right? So about 385 days was the last one. 2017 was around, about 380 days as well. And so far, we are only in around 147 days. So if we take this forward to about those 380 days, it gives us a time frame towards right about October 2026. Right? This level here. So if that's what we're looking at, then we are, you know, that gives us enough time to do, you know, something like this, come up a little bit, you know, and then come down, spend some time here, and then recovery, and then off we go. I think that makes a more plausible sense in terms of looking at the other three previous bear markets. So yeah, 60K could retest if it holds. Okay, if not, then we are still gonna have opportunities either way. Cave is hoping for 50. I mean, that's going to be pretty significant level. I think that's where I've got that green bar as well. 50 to about 48 would be incredible. We've answered this one. People are trading, not actually touching the Bitcoin itself. I think that will always continue, but that's going to be engulfed by the liquidity. It's similar to when we started surpassing the price. Yep. Squeeze from supply to demand. It was supposed to. But we still got to remember how small the crypto market cap is, right? So I think any significant flows. The other thing I was looking at today was looking at ETH BTC. Let me just bring it up from here. So if you look at where we went, so this is the April low. Let's go to the weekly. So we've got the April low here. And I'm actually more kind of like watching Ethereum right now because of alts. And this is going to be a major level of support. If we're going to beat this ratio here, ETH BTC, you can see here we're totally kind of like towards the bottom of testing this trend line. This has to hold and this has to flip for us to be able to take advantage of, or the alts to have a relief rally, to be honest. So few moving parts there. What's happening in Yorkshire, bro? I heard it was snowing. Smash a like, guys, by the way. This ain't no towel. Facts. POS. Nothing gets close to towel. Facts. I mean, listen, you know, one way we can do this is let's just take that contract, right? Like, you know, this ain't. I love the fact that, you know, when projects come along and say they are, I mean, it's in a completely different category. If you really look at the project itself. But on-chain data doesn't lie, right? So first thing you see is specifically on-chain. So your answer is right here, right? So when the guys say, look, this ain't no towel. I mean, look at this. 97% are held by the insiders, right? And I think that's all you need to know. No smart wallets at all. Yeah, this is dangerous. So we can't even compare it to tau. You can see here balance being accumulated by select view. Repo is the tau competitor. Yes, we looked at repo before. But a tau competitor, bro, you sure? Let's go to where we at? Let's go to the studio. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, bro said repo is a tau competitor in some ways rather than the other coin. I think repo, we looked at that many times before. Very, very small in terms of market cap. $6 million market cap. I think the next tau is going to be, everyone's going to search for the next tau, right? But repo here, just so it's a great time, by the way, to be watching these kind of, I'm glad Peter brings this one up because again, you know, we're looking at agents. So just put it plainly, tau is the Bitcoin of AI. No doubt about it at all. In my opinion, in terms of scarcity, in terms of the I love the fact that, you've got institutional demand for it, but on-demand human intelligence for AI agents robotics at a $6 million market cap on base. So may well be kind of too early for most people to dabble into this, but at least put this on your watch list. I think this is tiny market cap. And anything that base does will be quite valuable, in my opinion. Don't buy it randomly. Of course, none of this is financial advice. We are looking through this together in a live setting. AI agents, robotics. Again, this is a sophisticated project. You are going to see a lot of marketing for AI agents, but really, it says here, Claude is now active. Yeah, that's mine, Claude. And yeah, no, good shout, Pete. Bro said, check out Handshake's subnet SN58. Let's have a look at subnet Tau stats. Numery, is there one called Numery as well? Like, I've been seeing a lot. I was actually about to post some updates on the subnets. So let's go to. So if you're not watching, like, for example, Shoot, the ones that I know very well, it can be a little bit complicated. I know Rich's AI is pretty well. There's another one here that is pretty decent. Numinous. And you can see here is up 19%. It does require, to be fair, it does require people to really kind of knuckle down and do their homework. But this is Handshake, right? Subnet 58. I'm still holding actually a little bit of Tau stats. SN58. Decent chart. Let me go back here. Let's have a look at the Tau ecosystem. I pray to God, like, where most people think, yeah, the bear market's not good. Bear market is good for a reset. Of course, it's difficult sometimes to live through it. But in my opinion, I think it's when your best work is done anyway. B10 Tau. Yeah, subnet 58 looks, is it on CoinGecko? Sometimes you don't find these in Gecko. So, Rich's AI, Gradient, 19 AI. And by the way, a lot of normal projects are now building their own subnets anyway. See if you just search for it, right? $4 million market cap is what we're looking at. So don't mind the chart just yet. Naming certificate authority. Is this what it is? Decentralized open naming platform. See, the thing with subnets, right? You've got to go balls deep into them. X402 on steroids, is it? Interesting. Agnostic work with AI agents across the whole crypto ecosystem. That should be very, very interesting. Thanks for that, bro. Is the one who said that BTC is infinite. He needs to stick to stocks. Pete, if we get 10K Bitcoin, imagine, look, apparently, I mean, if you look at stats anyway, Bitcoin died over 400 times in its lifetime. about 15, 20 years. So that would be insane. What levels do you think that we will get Aero over the next month? Also, other base tokens are on your watch list. I think Aerodrome is one. The strongest coin on base is actually one that I expected to do very well in a bear market, and it's doing very well. And that is Morpho. This thing here is programmed to stay above $1, TVL. So what they do is they power the instant loans from Coinbase. Now, if you read into the instant loans, which is very, very bullish for Coinbase in terms of the ecosystem. But I think this one, it's having its own bull market. Yesterday was around $700 million in market cap. Today is at 891 million, 1.6 FDV. I think these types of coins do very, very well anyway. Your Aves, your kind of Morphos. So that's what it is on the base blockchain. And I've been very impressed by the fact that the TVL is steady. Coinbase is building on it consistently. And then you've got this incredible TVL that just consistently grows. So I think Morpho has shown more than any other coin to act as a stable coin. And some of the reasons today, for example, Falcon X Vault for RWA collaterals was kind of introduced. And of course, that gives you more on-chain collaterals. I think that brought in another 72 million. So they do have serious institutional capital in there. Apollo Global Management is another one. And of course, Coinbase's main, what do I say? Their main lending and borrowing, $5 million, up to $5 million with unsecured loans. So that's what's happening in Morpho, in my opinion. But other tokens, of course, you can't go to the agentic meta without talking about Virtuals protocol. So they would be my top three. Morpho at the moment, I don't have any exposure to. I do have exposure to Aerodrome Finance, and how low Aerodrome goes will largely depend, of course, on where we go from here. But last time in April, Aerodrome was around, I believe it came down to a 24, sorry, below 30. 26 cents was the April low. Was it 20? Yeah, 26 cents. So if let's just put a line here. So we've kind of like gone from the lows in April, right, around this candle here, to where we are, to this red box here. I mean, this circle here. So what this circle represents is October's candle. This was that night when we woke up and we were like, what the F is going on in crypto? And they just, the whole market broke. So what you want to do with Aerodrome is to break this level. And so far, it's dipped below the October low. But in a bear market, I would love to see the price break its April low first. And then ultimately what you want is the 20 cent level, right? But from this chart here, anyway, let's have a look at a different chart. Let's go, let me check the KuCoin chart, which is a lot better. So we saw this, again, the lowest that we had in Aerodrome was around this 20, 26, 27 cents mark back in April. So this is the official low on some of these charts. And then this is the manipulation candle. And we have literally been there twice. So if you could call these areas the main demand zone, right? So I'd expect this level, if it's broken, then I'd expect price discovery to the downside. So I'm still patient on it. I do have a magical, what I call the non-FOMO number of tokens for each category. Like for Tau, for example, I just buy it based on market dynamics and dollar cost average into it. For example, for Ondo, I want to see Ondo break 24 cents heavy, come down to 22 and ultimately break 20 cents. Then I'm more interested. For now, I do have what I call the safety exposure. Not a massive bag, but enough to stop me from FOMOing into anything without really feeling like I'm standing naked without some kind of an exposure, for a better analogy. And that's how you got to think about it. Honestly, once you move emotion away from it, once you qualify your asset, if you want to buy Aerodrome Finance today, well, I wouldn't. First of all, because it's green. Secondly, we could see substantial prices towards 20 cent level. So for that reason, if your goal is to dollar cost average, first rule, buy on red days. Second rule, wait for the macro movement. If it pumps 10, 15, 20%, stick to your theory, right? Don't go after it because you think, yeah, the market is now ripping and leaving you. These markets go up and down all the time. So that's why I'm so happy with, say, for example, a Casper, a Tau, or a Sui, my three biggest holdings outside of USDT, because I don't really care what happens there right now because I know where it's going to go, if that makes sense. And I guess that's the same theory. Like if you're buying Bitcoin, for example, you really don't give a shit where Bitcoin is. I mean, it is undervalued. The natural value for Bitcoin right now should be $133,000. So we are extremely undervalued. But how much would it dip between now and the bottoming events that are surely going to hit us in the next few months? And that's going to be quite key. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, my broski. Yo, Rudy, it was good. Yeah, I'm sure Repo is a competitor. Read about it. Sure, bro. Yeah, sooner or later, man. Imagine, you're buying things, $100, $150, whatever the price is, $180, and the dynamics and the mechanisms of the halving. It's going to make you crazy money. Even if you own 10 Tau, right? Like, you're going to make significant money. It's going to be like owning 10 Ethereum or 10 Bitcoins in the future. Now, of course, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Of course, right now, I have to reiterate, I am USDT heavy, but that just gives me the opportunity to go, yep, DCA here. Let me get a little bit of something there and so forth. It's going to be like BTC for years. Touch it. Yeah, next BTC. Now it's the next Tau. Facts Cave. Peter's bought the dip. Now it's $6 million. That is a Chad territory. Facts. Absolute facts, bro. I don't really know about Zama. So I don't really have any opinions on it. Zama. Recently plummeted. What is this? What is this? Oh, Binance as well. Confidential protocol enables smart contracts, layer ones. So it's privacy, right? Layer 2, L1 and L2 privacy. Yeah, no, I've got, so I don't know anything about it, to be honest, to give you a proper answer there. But from what I'm seeing, it's a privacy coin. Elsa, on Base, of course, as well as Claude. Rumor is that Claude Dev is one of the. So I've heard this. Bro. Like, I don't think that Claude Dev is behind it, but we can have a look at them, right? And that is something you need to be careful about, because sometimes I think the hype could be, especially with Claude Code. I'm extra careful in terms of how they pitch it. But let's start with Elsa. Elsa is $17 million, fully diluted is slightly more. 77 million, is it? And this is obviously discover your opportunities, execute trades, and manage your portfolio through conversation. No dashboards, agentic AI meta on Base. I've seen too many of these projects pop up, and get personalized portfolio based on your goals and risks, handles allocations, rebalance. So there's, first of all, an issue here for me will be trust. Now, when it comes to agentic AI, you've really got to be careful. You would be surprised the amount of, because I went into Claudebot a little bit deep, and the amount of crypto scams that are actively happening is beyond belief. This is where most of our Web3 scammers now are in this bot. And mostly they've done it through the, the skilled repositories and other ways. So you've got to be careful. Now, I'm not saying this is, of course, I'm bullish on Base. Elsa AI, I think there's going to be, it's building infrastructure on autonomous agents with X402, machine-to-machine payments. Now, we know Coinbase allows, X402 and agents to trade. That's massive. But what I would say is, so this is a DeFi edge, connects to on-chain and off-chain sources, latest crypto trends, data. I've seen all of that before. Autopilot for your portfolio. Do I really want to have an autopiloted portfolio unless you've seen through, like, for example, a trusted exchange? Remember the grid bots, for example. This is the one area that I'm really like, if an AI agent is making me money, even with my own setup with the Claude bot, I know people are jumping onto the integration of Hyperliquid into it and trading. I think what I've been doing lately is just making sure that I don't leave significant amount of money in there. But are you able to sleep fully and allow Elsa to handle? I don't mind if it does all the, if it gives me signals, directions. I think this is where the questions are for me so far. So yeah, on this one, again, it's on Base. We're looking at $17 million market cap. We're looking at a top price of around, it went to nearly 40 cents, 40 cents, yep. But I wouldn't really kind of go guns blazing near the narrative, in the sense that I wouldn't really give it the autonomy to be able to do what these guys are claiming that it will do. So that is the caution across AI, whether you're building your own mold bot, whether you're building your own claw bot. One thing I would say, because OpenAI have recruited Mr. Steinberger, the founder of Claudebot, OpenAI now through ChatGPT will allow us to pay our monthly fees and have a safer environment to access the AI agents. I'm also aware that many companies are working on safe AI agents. So your best bet will be, in my opinion, the way I want to treat this is, yes, I want to execute tasks and I want to talk to my phone while I'm chilling down the mall and tell Claudebot to buy me a water bottle from Amazon, or to create or scrape a website or build a website, whatever it might be. But I think we're going to pull back a little bit and fully understand what this whole agentic to agentic trading is going to mean for us. But I can see, honestly, I can see the meta taking off once people actually realize. And also the other question that you've got to ask yourself, and again, I'm not talking to my brother only here, for everybody around this subject of AI agents, is that if we're all getting the same thing, i.e., if we're all going to run an AI agent and a bot, what is the competitive advantage? And I think the competitive advantage will always be training your model, making sure that your AI model has all of its skills and memory, making sure that you keep a permanent memory and you really talk to it. Because one of the problems that I had, and I'm sure other people suffer from this, is they want to get to the pie really quick. And I had to scale back from trying to build. And again, I wanted to present this solution to the community, but I don't think I'm willing to take the risk right now in the interest of maybe having more views or whatever. Because if you put anything on agentic AI now, it's gonna get views and people are gonna, no, that's not how we need to look at it. We need to look at this as a technology that is going to change your life if you can train your AI agent with the information that it requires and the security that it requires. But yeah, so this one, I would say, to be honest, trading volume is healthy. So you did ask me about the token and I went on to AI agents, but I guess this is the kind of conversation we need. So yeah, trading volume is healthy, tokenomics slightly weak, very risky, sub $20 million market cap, of course. With all the small coins, they are risky, and it's on base and it's exploiting the X402 situation. Then the next step for us is just to see who's holding this. And for us to be able to do that, we'll go over to our on-chain tool here. And I'll just give you an idea of potentially what you're looking at. So, you know, holder count looks 156,000. I mean, top holders, not bad at all. 16%. Fresh wallets, very little. And the medium holder is very, very small, $3.50. Do we have any smart money in it? No, but we do have public figures in it. And that's quite interesting because who are the public figures? Josh, David, and Aladdin. So these two influencers have already sold out. They have they have very little balance. In fact, there's nothing here. And this looks like a new. So yeah, probably influencers have talked about this and exchanges have been selling it heavy. Exchange balance reduction 37%. So on the risk side, and then the other one that we talked about, or the one that I wasn't sure if this is completely linked to him. We have to roast these, by the way. Sorry if I'm coming across as critical on this. Is absolutely not the intention at all. Claude, what was the other one? Claude, I think that's not even on CoinGecko, right? Claude OS, is it? Probably not. Claude. If he's the dev, then God help us. It's on base as well. But to be honest, you know, he's a normal guy, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's involved. But I would probably take a lot of caution on this. Holders here, over 50% held by insiders. Top 100, yeah. So this one, every time there's a little pump, token price has been going down, accumulation up, but it's very risky. But I did hear somewhere that he didn't really He didn't really create any tokens. Handshake was launched last week. As you know, the owners of the subnets changed their yes. Facts, bro. I'll look into that. What is the price target for SUI to the downside? If we have a mega run, sorry, that explains everything. Well, SUI is going to be, so this week, SUI's had Vanguard, Grayscale, and Canary Capital. So for me, I mean, I'm seeing, living through the Solana days, I am seeing everything that Solana kind of had: network outages, VC money, ETFs. You got to remember, you got to favor cryptocurrencies with ETFs, right? If you're taking the ultimate risk in altcoins, which is a very risky space, then you got to try and look for the creme de la creme. The crumbs will come later. Honestly, for many of the low caps, I mean, think about all of the cultural memes that are friggin' dead right now, or almost dead. So there will be a time and space to speculate, but SUI targets to the upside. That is a juicy question, my brother. We shall answer that, because I've seen $30, I've seen $20, and I have seen $10, which will be a 50% rise to the previous all-time high. But where would I sell? Where would I sell this bad boy? So look, if the mathematics become very, very simple once we understand what the bottoming is going to look like in terms of our average, right? So SUI is one of the only few cryptocurrencies that have not hit their October manipulation candle, right? You can see here, that's at 57 cents. So if it goes back to, if we buy more, let's say we get a better average and we buy some more SUI at 57 or below, because it can go further down. This is the original lift-off area here. This area has never been tested for SUI, and that's 34 cents, right? So what does a 10x look like, and what does a 20x look like? So a 20x for that price, for me, $10, and I'm out. $50, 50%, which is the previous all-time high, to where the price is at that 57 cents candle. 10x, partially pulling heavy money out. I've got a decent amount of money in SUI anyway. But then it becomes a question of what the market cap is going to look like. And if it goes to $100 billion, I mean, think about it. Right now, what we have is, let me just get, what's the current market cap of SUI? You know what? Let's just go to the, if any coin is going to $100 billion market cap with mass marketing and hype and all the whale money, because the way they do it is they rotate that money quite cleverly. So they would go into Solana, they will rotate out of that, whatever, something you've not seen massive deal of. But let's just go SUI to Cardano, right? This is probably, if we think of market cap alone, we get something like this. So can it really realistically do this at 26x? I think so, but will we be around to wait for $24? I think it makes no sense at all, since from 57 cents to $5.57, you're already pulling in a significant amount. And of course, this is probably on the promise that it goes to $95 to $100 billion. So it is a tall order But if any coin is going to do that, in my opinion, I think Sui will achieve that. But the question is average prices and so forth and so forth. So I do believe it's reasonable to target $10. I do believe people will have a much, much better average if they wait. If the market takes off for whatever reason, then so be it. But below $1, probably at 57 cents, you are getting a very good, massively discounted prices on this. So in my opinion, $10 would be a very good target, especially if you put decent amount of money in it. Former owners of the subnet, a different project was deregistered. Oh, damn. Damn, bro. I'm expecting $100 TAO and 10 cents Ondo. I don't think you are absolutely wrong in expecting those prices. Again, you know, that would be generational, right? That would be an amazing, amazing entry. Once you see Ondo break the 20-cent level, then stagger some orders all the way to 10 cents. But don't wait for, I would say, don't wait for that one single price, because I don't think it's a safe idea to do that. But that's a good shout. Yeah, anytime, bro. Great video today. Thank you so much, bro. Low fee. Low fee. Hey, don't even get me started, bro. Man's you know, I'm shameless when it comes to low fee. I'm absolutely shameless. And with all the logic, you know, you would think, you know, you've been in crypto for many years and, you know, you come here and we talk about it. And I secretly buy $100 of Toshi, and I tell the team, I'm actually buying $100 of Toshi. And I sorry, Lofi. And Toshi's the other one, of course. But last week, you know, I grabbed, you know, $100 of Lofi, 30,000 coins. I mean, tokens. So be it. If I'm not gambling and I'm not playing on poly markets, you know, that's what is that? You know, 2 burgers and a drink. But that's, you know, for me, I've always said when the markets come and the euphoria starts and the layer one moves, of course you're gonna, you know, you're not gonna get maybe $1, but even $1 Toshi, man. Toshi, I mean, Lofi can do 100x. Toshi is Brian Armstrong. So yeah, looking at those, does that say boop? Hey, let me have a look. Up 36%. What is going on here, Cave? Should I be clicking on this? Boobillions. Why not? Let's do it. Guys, the Cave is incredible. Yo, what's happened to Superman, man? I haven't seen Superman talking about tits and arse and legs and breast and whatever. But Cave is just giving us. Oh, what a legend, man. What a crazy chart, bro. Who is holding this? You know what? Let's go and roast this. Let's see who's buying this. Boops. Dear AI, can you search? Don't know if my wife's probably not watching this, by the way, lads. So crazy chart. Buy pressure is incredible. And market cap is 4 million. Do we see any whales that we recognize? What are we looking at smart money wise? Let's have a look at holders. You know, if I start seeing certain whales here, then you're absolutely spot on. 1.2 million. Okay, held by whales, public figures. Okay, there's some influencers in there. And of course, some smart money in there. So overall, it does have some legs. 68% held by the top 100. What does that look like? It is a controlled by the largest 100 wallets. Okay. So it does have, it's concentrated. Let's see if we recognize any of these wallets. We've got snipers in there. But one thing's for sure, bro, you've got, let me see who the smart wallet traders are. Remus, TNL, so they'll be trading this. And we've got another trader there. So 21 trades, 700 trades, and of course 100 trades here. So what these guys are, smart money previously held, and maybe some of them are whales, but they have previously held a set amount of projects or tokens. Let's see what they're holding. So let's start with this Remus guy. So you can see here, crazy gains. I mean, look at the gains from White Whale, right? 134,729%. So he does have a track record of finding crazy coins. I mean, or at least making crazy gains. But right now, what he holds in value, his White Whale, is around $300,000. He is also a neat whale, $35,000. So yeah, this is the kind of wallets you track to obviously see when they buy these things. Lobster is a new shitcoin, new launch, and the other one that he has is Mac Mini. Now, of course, if you've been trading crypto recently, or if you've been seeing AI news, Mac Minis globally have disappeared. Like literally, people are buying Mac Minis. So there is what? Guess what? Solana launches a shitcoin in the last couple of hours called Mac Minis, and this is already at 700K. So it is a whale that is probably worth. Let me just put a star on this guy. This bad man needs to be. He's got to be watched. Let's save this guy. Historical token portfolio. Remus. Let's save this guy. So look, Cave, just to deep dive on your thing, this is not a, let's create an alert. Boom. I will let you know anyway if he starts selling, but we've just created the alert for this. So yeah, so far, man, it's got, still risky, but balances are being sold as the price goes up. You would expect that. Actually, no, sorry, apologies. For the token price is up and balances are relatively decent. Pump.fun. Oh, this is the liquidity pool. What is this? 24 hours. Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, good shout, bro. Are you considering Monad, XPL for new blue chip L1s? Your thoughts? Very good question, bro. So there's a brother that was in our VIP, and I was doing a portfolio review for him, and he was holding XPL. Now, the thing with XPL is that it has in terms of the new protocols or layer one protocols, it's got very good fees, and it does have the narrative in terms of stable coins. Okay. So it's on my radar. Monad has been on my radar since the pre-launch. I think I've done a very good video of Monad versus Sui and comparing it from their start. The thing you got to remember, so let's look at XPL first. So the thing with Plasma for me has been tokenomics, right? That is the only thing. I mean, they had an integration into XRP Vault. It's at $200 million market cap. It is a, like I said, it has the narrative in terms of stable coins. And once you start to understand what it really does, zero transfer fees on USDT, it's very good. The only thing is it the right time to buy it now? The chart is pretty much at the lows. I don't have any exposure to this, by the way, but based on the research that I gave to the brother, there is this thing about infinite supply. As long as you understand the risk dynamics, it has to really qualify for a room in my layer ones. Now, what I like about it is the stablecoin narrative. So again, there's going to be few of these that pop up. This has a very good backing. So it's got all the bells and whistles. The only thing is tokenomics have to be studied a little bit further. And of course, it is in kind of like, if we think of the Clarity Act and distribution and centralizations, these are the few questions that I have here. However, redefining money with the kind of cost of transfers and things like that, I think this is a very, very good one to keep in your watch list. Integrations like Privy Wallet and Privy technology is amazing. So I do like this a lot. And of course, stablecoins have the potential to secure American dollar. This is the narrative that I was talking about from the crypto czar himself here. So keep this one on your radar at $200 million market cap. I think for me, the deeper question would be just to try and understand, as we enter into the latter stages of the bear market or the recovery, how the tokenomics sits behind that. So it's pretty much on my radar. I haven't triggered anything yet, but it is under scrutiny for now. Very good layer one in the stablecoins narrative. So the other one is Monad, and Monad has never had a bull market. They held it and held it and held it and thought we will release this at the euphoria of 2025. And guess what? It backfired heavily, right? The launch itself is absolutely unique because this is the first time a project was launched on Coinbase with specific safeguards to when they start pumping when they start dumping the token. So there was like a month grace period. But high performance EVM blockchain sitting around exactly the same market cap as Plasma, for example. What is this? $200 million as well. Like for like market cap, fully diluted 2 billion. Again, tokenomics are not the worst because they have a longer lockup period. And price right now is below, I think ICO price was 2.5, right? So definitely I haven't bought any, but I have enough dry powder to buy both of these when the time is right. But I don't think you should be rushing anything, and you should pace yourself, of course. If you want an exposure, here's what I say to people all the time. Let's say, for example, you've qualified a particular project and you want to have a certain holdings. All you have to do is dollar cost average into it, providing like each week you do your research, see what the team is doing, if the project is legit, if they build in, and so on and so on. But the 3 layer ones, or the 2 general purpose layer ones that I have, are Casper and Sui, and I have a smaller bag of Say, and I would be looking at these 2 at some point to see what's going on. Fire education. This is exactly what we need. No, I appreciate you, bro. No, honestly, don't FOMO into anything, and everything we do. Got the DJ in you. Likewise, bro. You know, we are together for a long time, and of course, we want a DJ. And, you know, we want to come in and do poly markets on our portfolio every day. But but the reality of the situation allows us to be a little bit more strategic nowadays because of the extraction of people like us. You know, we want to beat these fuckers, not be their victims. And I think there will be generational money between now and 2030, in my opinion. But every dollar you invest, we need to roast it. Why am I holding Casper? I'm holding Casper because Casper is unique in the sense that it is the fastest proof of work coin, and it is fast money. It is now, for the first time in its history, it now has a Solana bridge. It now has a hard fork coming up. So a list of variables that you can actually get behind, and I hold it regardless of rain or shine. But yeah, much appreciated, bro. Much love. What's your thoughts on Kita compared to XRP? Better product, acquired a bank, potential market cap. I wouldn't compare it to XRP because it will be disrespectful to the XRP army. XRP is a global institution, or Ripple is. Ripple have benefited from XRP, of course. Stellar is another one that comes to that. But I would say you've got to be incredibly careful when you compare a kind of, say, an established, 15-year-old former. What is XRP? XRP was the largest coin, bigger than Bitcoin, right? But Kita, on the other hand, is a $127 million market cap coin with a trading volume of just $3 million. And often that gives you a lot of clues, right? That the risk, volume to market cap is a real thing. What you have, these billion-dollar coins now pulling in, say, for example, Tau, 1.7 billion, 68 million in volume. So there isn't a lot of volume in the market anyway. And whatever that's there, I was looking at the Ondo volume last night. Wintermute bought $4 million of Ondo. And by the time I was actually doing the research to post it into the group, they sold $3.5 million. Wintermute market making through bots, right? So there is artificial volume in the market. So that is something just to keep in mind. But I do like Kita in terms of the, in a different world, in a different market, in a slightly less risky market. It is absolutely a coin to watch. They've entered an agreement to acquire a bank, strategic marketing towards expanding Kita's regulated capabilities, deeper participation with global finance. This is all bullish stuff. This is what you want bear market builders to do, right? Kita has approved the allocation of 35 million KTA as a strategic reserve, and use the tokens the said tokens will be used to undertake market blah 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 blah. So this is the announcement. Strategic timing of the move is incredibly interesting, right? So that's bullish in terms of what they're doing. And the sentiment around these kind of announcements, normally, if you look at this, so already they warned us about scammers replying to this. People are congratulating them. People are saying it's undervalued, based, boom, whatever you can talk about in terms of the. So the team wanted to debank, but instead, and these are what the critics are saying, right? You got to pay attention to both sides of the coin. The teams wanted to debank, but instead purchasing a bank. So I think this is a very, very good move, in my opinion. And in a liquid market, that would have moved the needle. But we know nothing moves the needle in a macro situation where there's scarcity of liquidity. So I would say, look, it's $120 million, right? how low it comes, what average you take. I mean, if they're acquiring a bank, we want to see a massive pivot into the banking and RWA, making sure that they are creating a token utility, because crypto often is just about headlines and not much use case. But overall, I've been in Kita, I've been out of Kita. Right now, I don't hold any, but well worth keeping eyes on this one, as that kind of next layer of coins that would potentially do well. Interestingly, let me just give you. Yo, coffee's gone cold. Let's have a look at the analytics. That's a nice cup of cold. So this is where they'll be playing, right? So this is why I think, what do you call, a massive growth in terms of the USDY volumes. But this is why stuff like, for example, RWA coins, stablecoin protocols, they are going to be key infrastructure for the US Treasury debt. So always keep an eye out on what's happening here. And you can already see here, look, Canton in terms of, where's Canton? I sold Canton a few days back, but Ethereum now is the top dog here. It keeps on changing. Let's have a look at Canton. I bought Canton at a decent price, below 10 cents. Just before I move away from Kita, very good project, very bullish announcements. Of course, markets don't give a shit about bullish announcements right now, but yeah, good keeping that one on your watch list. And the other one as well. So we talked about Morpho earlier. Canton has not dropped in price. I entered this. I did an alert on this. Made a decent little profit, sold it in 2 goes, and the price seems to be just stuck at 15, nearly 16 cents. So what are the reasons why? Is they've had massive announcements. Of course, it's just all TradFi. There's no tier 1 listing at all. Kraken listed it. Tau got listed as well with, who did Tau get listed this weekend? Yeah, Tau had an additional listing as well. But stuff like this, you need to mark down and keep it in your keep it in your watch list. Keep some money in the background as the dips is not over. 100%. I don't think the dips are over at all. That's why we're talking about stupid prices for buying potentially at the lows. I think it will be a generational. I'm expecting a $1.5 trillion total market cap. That would be absolutely brilliant. And if we even look at that for alts, what does it mean? This is the most important chart. I've been using this now for a very long time, and I have not seen this pick up significantly over the last 3 years. We seem to be kind of, we had a little pump here off this blue line, but this is basically total market cap minus USDT or minus stable coins and divided by Bitcoin. So if we look at this yellow trend line, so bull market triggers 2017, 2021, and of course we came down to the wick here, but we've never really hit this box, and now we've obviously we're coming up to resistance. I'm expecting us to create a new low somewhere here. So this is my bull market trigger. This is a very, very important chart. It's the total market cap, total 3 in particular, divided by minus USDT divided by Bitcoin. So this is the true ratio. And when I was saying this last year, people were like, we're up here. We're gonna we've not hit these two circles before in a very long time. We're going to lose another $1 trillion in market cap. Let's hope so. I'm all for it, bro. Who's holding boot? Cavers, man. He's holding boot, breast, back, everything. Always good to have some cash and stable coins. Facts, bro. Need more Casper under 3 cents. Bro, if Casper comes back, and I think it will, I have a large order at a ridiculous place. And for me, Casper is not gone anywhere near its October candle. It's the other one that I was talking about earlier. So this is not financial advice. If anyone is waiting to buy Casper at the October candle, that is a crazy, crazy amount of discount there. But we have been at key levels. And I guess my main two kind of points was if we dip below 3 cents, I think we're going all the way back to 1.8, something like that. Bro said, is Zora cooked? Well, last time I checked, it was on its way to being cooked. But Zora is through base anyway, it will be a participation of the bull market shenanigans at the very top. You saw this massive downtrend. No recent times, I haven't pulled any triggers to buy Zora since it came out because the rise here was way too quick to catch. Then there was the dip, but then it had this double top here. And then ever since it's been sliding. So Zora, the project, the utility, all of that stays. The fact that Zora is a huge protocol within base, that's also going to stay. But what's not going to change is where you can buy it. And I think we are seeing some of the best prices, but yet it's not done. So yeah, let's wait for this one. A new launch pad, the world's attention market, bird eye. It's insane. I think this will do very well in a base season. So if you want to look at Aerodrome, the strongest coins or the best coins, I think, in terms of narrative on base are Morpho's the strongest. Then you have Virtuals, Aerodrome, and I think the other one is Zora. Yeah, facts. Got to clean out your portfolio. Get rid of tokens that have decrease in trading volume or no volume in that matter. I think that's a big signal, right? Massive signal there. But I do like going back to this thing about Zora. Is it cooked? I would say for now, it already is. You'll see in the chart as this is one of the best performance of 2025. I mean, from July to August last year, this is when altcoins really ran. Anything after that, and that's the main profit that I took, around 33% of the portfolio that time, back in the day. But definitely clean out your portfolio. Go with heavy convictions. I did release my personal portfolio. People were asking me, am I still holding stuff like Arweave? Yes. I am holding Arweave. I've actually, I have plans to buy some more. You may be thinking, what the hell are you doing? But I do believe in the power of these dynamics in terms of the tokenomics, and with good money, I think they will recover. But their trading volume is $13 million relatively to the market cap, 10%. Not bad at all. I'm also holding a little bit of AO. And this was This is a wild one for me. No, hardly any trading volume, but AO the computer for me is just a little bit of a gamble, really. Not. I will bet on the powers of Sam to do something here, because I think this is a hyper parallel computer. We were talking about tau betas, which is, I think, market cap. What's the market cap here? 10 million, 23 million, fully diluted, 6 million coins in circulation out of 21 million. So interesting, like tech now has taken a backseat, right? So ultimately, most cryptocurrencies are what? They are run like companies, and you only get stuff like say, for example, this Casper stuff and some other decentralized coins that potentially have the massive communities. But overall, I mean, look at Beam. Beam is another one. Has anyone seen the price of IMX? Without looking, drop in the comments what you think the current price of IMX is today. And no cheating allowed, guys. So IMX right now is at 16, or was 16 cents today. I mean, talk about madness here. And guess what? It looks like the chart of Beam. John said 20 cents. Nah, it's 16, bro. Can you imagine? I mean, these are the times we live in. This is the reality of the situation. You know, the IMX value right now. I mean, what was I've watched. Anyone here watches Supo? I mean, I don't know how some of these coins, man. The valuation that they were throwing around was just incredible. Still has a TVL of 12 million, but if you think of the biggest gaming coin is now at $140 million market cap. Bear market lows. Will gaming come back? I can see liquidity being back in the market, and then GTA 6 or whatever next year. People hyping this as completely new craze. The one that I hold is Beam, and Beam's trading volume is off the wall. $4 million as of now. TVL, what TVL? So gaming is one sector that's completely died. NFTs have definitely been destroyed as well. So yeah, John, very close. But yeah, this is a very, very important comment here by Humble Servant. You know, clean out your portfolio, get rid of the tokens with decreasing volume. And you got to be careful with that as well, because sometimes decreasing volume and liquidity or market making, they could be using a lot of bots as well. But that's a very, very good advice here. I will never give prediction to BTC again. Remember back in 2023, I said that 126. It was wrong about. Bro, you've called out a lot of stuff, including some crazy. I mean, I was looking at some of your messages about conspiracies and stuff like that. Ridiculous. GTA 57 will come before GTA 6. Oh, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Guys, we've done a 1 hour, 40 minutes. I think it has been an amazing script. Yo, special guest in the building and my brother. Let's do this, bro. Do you want to drop me an email? Because I've been wanting to have you. We can do one this week for sure, if your calendar allows it. One of the best, my brother here, the game of cryptos. And watch out for the collab there, man. But I hope you're doing very well, bro. It's been a tough market, but we might as well get our thing going. You'd either just message me on X, or let's do it. There is my emails on the channel as well, so we can sort that one out. Vance put I've run out of room for my conspiracies. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are. Stay safe. We will come back with more live stream fire very soon. God bless you all. And I'll definitely catch you on the next one. And definitely we'll be collaborating with my brother there. Cheers, lads. Cheers, John. Cheers, everyone. Good night. Peace, brother. God bless you all, man. Take care.